In this very video, I am playing the latest Pioneer Lotus Field Combo tech. I'm talking about Tail's End. We're playing over Discontinuity and Voyaging Satyr. Let's go find out why. Why would you want to play Tail's End? Well, I'll tell you, but before we get to that, I would like to make a quick announcement. Our channel is now sponsored by KMC Sleeves. I am thrilled to announce this because I actually use their products. My entire collection is in KMC hard perfect fits and has been for years. And well, to be able to work with a company where you actually do value their products is just amazing. So throughout this video, there will be an ad above me with KMC products in it. Storm 10 for 10% off at checkout. You can find their links in our description and the pinned comment down below. All right, enough of that. I am so excited today to talk to you about Tail's End. Why would you want to play this Stifle effect from Magic 20? Yeah, this card hasn't seen play in Standard ever, really. Well, why is Tail's End good? So we were previously playing Discontinuity, which says that it essentially costs 2 mana if you cast it on your own turn and it ends the turn. So it's basically like a Stifle that you could sometimes cast on your opponent's turn. Well, Tail's End is a Stifle that, always costs 2. You don't have to play it on your opponent, only on your own turn. But so the idea here is that on turn 1, you would play a green source, you would play a grazer, put in a Botanical Sanctum or some other land, maybe even a Temple of Mystery. We'll get to that in a minute. And then on turn 2, you would float mana and then play Lotus Field. You could then play Tail's End and counter your own sacrifice trigger on Lotus Field. So that way, on turn 3, you untap with 3 lands on the battlefield, which speeds up our deck. So that is why you're playing Tail's End. But it also has some additional functionality. You can counter opposing copies of Beside You that are trying to destroy your Omniscience, or even a Greasefang that's potentially going to kill you because it also counters legendary spells, including legendary creatures. So Tail's End has more utility than Discontinuity, making it a little bit better. And well, I kind of like that. In my previous video that you can find in the card above, I went 5-0. Yeah, that's right. Undefeated trophy, woot woot, sick brags, all that good stuff. Voyaging Satyr was never relevant once. And well, I'm kind of hoping that today, Tail's End is more relevant. And in the comments of that video, some people pointed out that I haven't used the Lair of the Hydra in a while to win the game. And when you look at the 5-color list featuring Stern Proctor, they're not even playing Lair of the Hydra anymore. So their only win condition is the Chandra Hope's Beacon. Okay, well that's pretty interesting. And well, I've never really loved Lair of the Hydra, but in a format where you had Karn the Great Creator into the Stonebrain in Game 1 situations, that was not great for us. Well, Karn has been banned, and now there's no decks really. I mean, occasionally there's like 2% of the field that plays Niv Delight, but you don't need 2 win conditions in your main deck anymore. So you don't have to do that. So we're playing just the one, and instead we're playing 3 copies of Temple of Mystery. So another thing that happened was I was discussing my 5-0 list with another person, and I mentioned the theory of siding out Impulse. Okay, so if you're going to do that, having built-in ways in your mana base to find Lotus Field gains a lot of value. So we're doing that today. And I didn't really consider the value of Temple of Mystery when you're siding out Impulse all the time. That's my own bad. I mean, I still want undefeated, woot woot, sick brags, but I do like the idea of Temple of Mystery helping us when we board out Impulse. I even considered cutting the breeding pool for the 4th Temple because honestly, I feel like maybe this is me being a little bit biased, but I never loved Lair of the Hydra because it never really came up. It was just like sort of a safety net. How often do people Beside You and then you've already have your basic forest in the battlefield or in your hand? It doesn't happen that often. And half the time breeding pool isn't that good. So if you theoretically played 4 temples, you're increasing your odds of a Boreal Grazer in the temple on turn 1, which is your best opener. So I'm sometimes considering, do I want to add in the 4th temple again? But I'm going to leave it as is for now. In that last video, I also said that I really like 4 copies of Beside You. When you have Temple of Mystery, you don't necessarily need to play all 4 anymore, so you do get a little bit of smoothing that way. And I think that makes a lot of sense because your deck is just more consistent at finding the cards you want. So I'm playing 3 copies of Temple today, no Lair of the Hydra. Those are the changes. And we cut 2 Voyaging Satyr, and then the dig through time for the tails end. The dig through time was decent in the last league, but I was never in love with it. It was a card I sided out a lot, so we, you know, I'm just trying something new today. And if I end up not liking Tails End, I could see myself going back to Dig Through Time. It's not that cards are bad. It's just that they have shifting values, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Those are the changes in the main deck. The sideboard is 100% the same. I loved it in that last league. We're going to run it back today. So enough of me rambling. We're going to head on into the first match. But before we get there, I would like to say if you're interested in the sideboard guide for this list that we're playing in today's video, you can just scroll down and click. That's correct. I've hooked up a Shopify site to our YouTube channel so I can sell the token packs and sideboard guides to the decks that I play in this, very video. Or if you're interested in saving a couple pennies and saving me a couple pennies, you can just go directly to theepicstorm.com/shop and buy them there. There is an increased, fee on each side if you buy them here on the YouTube channel, but for some people the convenience is worthwhile. So anyway, go to theepicstorm.com/shop or just scroll down to get those sideboard guides. Enough of me rambling and ranting. Let's head on into the first match. I'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1, and look at it, KMC right above us, Storm 10 for 10% off, all that good stuff. All right, so here we have quite the hand. I will keep this. All right, so we don't have an untapped green source, but I do have the Temple of Mystery. We're on the draw, so we do have the chance at drawing an untapped green source, but we also have the Sylvan Scrying to find the 4th land. So I really like this hand. They lead on a castle. Okay, so they're playing green. And we hit the untapped land. We have our best possible opener. So turn 1 a Boreal Grazer into that Temple of Mystery. You'll love to see it. Scry 1. I don't think I want Lier. We'll put Lier on the bottom. Feels good. Being rewarded already for my changes. They have a Lair of the Hydra. Glimpse of the Core. So they search their library for a basic forest, put onto the battlefield and shuffle. Or they can reveal a cave card from their graveyard, the battlefield tapped. So it's just a rampant growth, really. Hidden Strings, what an amazing draw. Little Sylvan Scrying. I'm not really sure what they're up to, but I'll grab a Boseiju, why not? And then we'll play the Lotus Field. Wow, I mean, this is certainly a good hand. My best draw would be a Vizier at this point. Sylvan Caryatid, okay. Botanical Sanctum. I'm going to play Thespian Sage and pass the turn. So they could have a Boseiju in their hand. And if they do, I don't want to copy my Thespian Sage because they could blow up my land. So I'm choosing to just hold it open, waiting for an opportunity to copy before they can destroy my land. So you don't have to copy at sorcery speed, and this just ensures that I'm able to assemble my combo here. All right, so they have a Thorn of Cavaliers, or Cavalier of Thorns, whatever the wording is on that. And now we're going to try to, do some fun stuff. Sylvan Scrying, so I can play Botanical Sanctum. And now we have 7 mana. So I can go Chandra +2, Hidden Strings, copy it, Dark Petition, and try to win. We'll play the Chandra, and now we'll plus her to make 2 mana. We'll make blue. Now we get to Hidden Strings twice. All right, so the Chandra triggers. Okay, and then okay. And now yes. And now the new one's on the stack. We're going to add some mana here. And now it untaps again. And then I do not want to Cipher. So I'm just trying to make sure that I float the correct color mana here. I don't think it really matters. All right, we'll Dark Petition. Grab the Emergent Ultimatum. And now green, blue, Emergent Ultimatum. We'll get Omniscience, Lier, and a Pore over the pages. They're likely going to just give me Lier plus Pore. Or if they're, you know, a little daring, they could try to give me Omniscience plus Pore and hope that I fizzle. That's another choice for them here. And they do. Okay. So we will pore over the pages, but we did not fizzle. Another thing you could do that's a little sneaky is you have the Sylvan Scrying in your hand. Let's say that this bricked and we just drew 3 duds. You could Sylvan Scrying for an Otawara and then bounce your own Chandra and then use the Chandra to dig for another spell. Okay, I think that we should just go grab an Otawara right now because I need to Otawara the Chandra to win this game anyway. So let's float some mana and now we'll pore over the pages. Bala Ged Recovery is not bad. We'll discard the Thespian stage. And now we will cast this, returning the Dark Petition. Cast the Dark Petition. Grab another Dark Petition. We will cast that. Go grab the Lier. Let's Sylvan Scrying because we can. We'll grab another Otawara. And now we're going to play Lier. I guess I can pore over the pages from the graveyard. We need a couple more Bala Ged Recoveries in order to win this game. So that's what I'm thinking about at the moment. You don't necessarily need to add mana. I am, because you can't play spells for free out of the graveyard with Lier, and it's just good to have that mana available. Alright, so now we have Bala Ged Recovery in hand, Bala Ged Recovery in graveyard. You could win using Otawara. You don't actually need 3 Bala Ged Recoveries. You just need a bunch of mana. But, I don't know. I think it's just easier. Another thing we could do is just flashback this Dark Petition. And then go grab another Bala Ged Recovery. Alright, so now we will Bala Ged Recovery on our Chandra. I'm sorry, Otawara our Chandra. I misspoke. Add Bala Ged Recovery on the brain. So now we will play the Chandra. And we will pick up Bala Ged Recovery and the Otawara. We'll -5 and deal them 5, and our opponent concedes. Sweet. That was a pretty good game for us. I do not miss Karn the Great Creator. I will say that. Alright, let's switch this over to pile view. It's just what I prefer. I'm sorry, card view is what I prefer. There we go. So if we think that they're a Damping Seer deck, Perilous Voyage is the card we want. And then you probably want to take out the Tail's End. This doesn't look like a really fast deck. It looks like a ramp deck. So I don't know if you really need the Tail's End. And then maybe one Arboreal Grazer. Let's try this. Game number 2, we're on the draw. We've opened up Arboreal Grazer with Bala Ged Recovery as our land. I'm going to keep this, but it's a little bit dicey because on turn 2, you don't actually have a land to put in, but you do have access to Lotus Field via our triple Sylvan Scrying. So I'm going to see what we can do. You can also use Scrying to find a Boseiju. That was a terrible draw. We'll play the Bala Ged, pass the turn. Okay. Sylvan Caroted, you got it. There's a Temple. Alright, I'll play the stage. And then we'll play Grazer. Put the Temple in. Keep the Pore over the pages. Pass the turn. Elvish Rejuvenator. Okay. This reminds me of the standard deck that was like this. They ramped into an Eldrazi that destroyed, I believe, a not... No, it could blow up lands. There was a clause, like, it couldn't destroy something, but I don't remember what that something was. So, my memory's getting me here. Alright, so we can Sylvan Scrying. I could just get the Lotus Field, but I could also just grab an untapped land and then Sylvan Scrying again, or I can even grab another Thespian stage in case they try to blow up one of them. And now we will go get our Lotus Field. And this just allows me to play around something like Damping Sphere a little bit. My best draw is probably Hidden Strings if I had to guess. Or maybe like Vizier into Hidden Strings, that might actually be better. The Might and Weakstone, they're choosing to draw 2 cards. You got it. And we drew the Hidden Strings. Okay. So we'll add blue. Let's just talk through this. So I float 2. I copy. Am I a mana short? I might be a mana short. Alright, we're going to play the Lotus Field. And then we want to sacrifice the Bala Ged because it's part of our win condition. And I guess a Temple of Mystery. So if I try to copy this right now, I only have 1 mana. So we don't want that. So I'm going to Hidden String and untap my lands. Yes, yes, no. And now I'll add 3 blue and a colorless. So I lose 1 mana, but I'm going to cast Pore over the pages. We found a Perilous Voyage. Discard the extra Lotus Field. And then we'll tap for green, and we'll copy the Lotus Field. And then we have Sylvan Scrying. I'm just going to get a blue source for our Perilous Voyage. So let's grab Breeding Pool. I could grab the Otawara as well. It doesn't need to be Breeding Pool, but it just gives me a little bit more flexibility. They now have 5 cards in their hand. So this adds 2 mana if they have 7 lands. So they don't have 7. So this can make 6 mana. Ooh, they have the Stone Brain. If they name Chandra, I actually lose to this. They named Emergent Ultimatum. Okay. We can win without the ultimatums. And I'll draw 2 cards? Yeah, I'll draw 2 cards. Thank you for not naming Chandra. Typically, and I understand if you're watching this from home and you're like, Bryant, you got so lucky. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I would say that most lists play multiple win conditions. So from the opponent's perspective, they made the right play. Don't look at this and be like, oh, your opponent misplayed, you got lucky. I think their decision was actually an educated decision that makes a lot of sense, because I'm choosing to not play the Lair of the Hydra. But our opponent doesn't know that. So you have to keep that in mind when you're watching the content or the videos or whatever you would like to call it. Because it's not really fair if you're just like assuming our opponent's bad when they actually made a decent play. It's just like we're not playing with open deck lists. I guess I'll say that. That is my point here. Now we'll draw off the Vizier. We drew another Lotus Field. That was a little stinky. I'm going to tap this Thespian stage and let's play an Impulse. We drew another Vizier. We'll cycle the Vizier, untapping the Lotus Field. We drew a Pore over the pages, so this will make a mana. I love that. You do not need Emergent Ultimatum to win the game. They're responding with a Warping Whale. Okay. Spicy. I guess I'll play Breeding Pool. I cannot Voyaging Satyr my own Arboreal Grazer, by the way. It says permanent you don't control. And I don't see the point in trying to bounce any of my opponent's permanents, so we will pass the turn. Warping Whale, spicy. They play a Glimpse the Core, so they're going to search for a basic. They have 2 cards left in their hand here. The Seiju. Let's tap for black, and we'll try a Dark Petition. Do you have another Warping Whale? They do. Okay. I will play a Lotus Field, sacrificing my non-Lotus Field lands. They play an Up the Beanstalk, so they draw a card. Another Glimpse the Core, so they have a ton of mana here. They're just looking for a payoff. So I have a tough decision here. Do I bounce Up the Beanstalk so that way I get to scry 2? But if I miss, my opponent will get to cast Up the Beanstalk and draw again. I think that we're in a spot where I just need to find another Dark Petition or Pore over the pages. So I'm going to choose to bounce the Up the Beanstalk. Bala Ged Recovery probably is good enough. So we'll put the Perilous Voyage on the bottom. We'll keep the Bala Ged Recovery. Alright, and now I'm going to tap for 3 green. We're going to Bala Ged Recovery the Dark Petition. I don't believe I can win this turn, but I'm going to set up for a win next turn. So black, blue, green. We're going to play Dark Petition, giving me 5 mana. Is their last card another Warping Whale? Wow, they had triple Warping Whale. Okay. We have to pass. They play Up the Beanstalk again, so they have 2 fresh cards this turn cycle. 1 from their draw step, 1 from the Up the Beanstalk. Another Beanstalk. Their engine is becoming online. They have 1 card left. Lier wins the game for us. We also have another Dark Petition. I bottomed this, so this is a different one. They have all the mana in the world. I think I'm going to Besage the Up the Beanstalk, because mana is no longer a choke point. And if they draw a spell that costs 5 or more, I don't want them drawing 2. Alright, so they have 2 cards in hand, and they're not playing anything. So did you draw your 4th Warping Whale? We'll bounce Up the Beanstalk. We're going to bottom both of these. We don't want 2 lands. Okay, so we know that the bottom 3 cards of our deck are cards we don't want. Chandra, not a sorcery. We'll play Chandra. This actually protects us from another copy of the Stone Brain. We'll plus Chandra, and I can cast an instant or sorcery this turn. I will cast a Bala Ged Recovery, getting Dark Petition. And Chandra copies the Bala Ged Recovery. And I'll target a Pore over the pages. Okay. Our opponent does get to replay up the Beanstalk and redraw a card here. They start the turn by doing that. Another Elvish Rejuvenator. They find Sunken Citadel and a Lair of the Hydra, so that they still have 2 cards. We draw another copy of Lotus Field. I'm going to start the turn by playing Pore over the pages, which Chandra will copy. So even if they have a Warping Whale, I'm going to generate some mana here. Untap, discard a Grazer, and now we'll make some more mana, and Pore over the pages again. Maybe I should have discarded the Lotus Field. Grazer has text where this Lotus Field really doesn't, but they're both like kind of irrelevant. Discard the Lotus Field. And now we'll play Omniscience. And then let's Dark Petition. The 4th Warping Whale. Love it. Alright, I will Dark Petition again. We will find our Lier, Disciple of the Drowned. We'll play Lier. Cast Impulse. We'll take a Pore, and our opponent concedes. Love it! We got the match win. We're 1-0. Who needs Lair the Hydra? Got there anyway. Alright, 4 more matches left to go. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2, we're on the play. Sure, this seems delightful. We're a Lotus Field short, but we do have an impulse to, find a Lotus Field or a Sylvan Scrying. We have a lot of options here. I also like the ability to cantrip or just make a ton of mana if we do find a Lotus Field. Turn 1 Stomping Ground tap, so it's probably the Gruul aggro deck, red-green. Another Pore over the pages. I realize that Impulse is an instant, but I'm going to be lazy and just cast it. Boom, Lotus Field. Okay. We're looking at a potential turn 4 win at the moment. Copperline Gorge. Burning Tree Emissary, so it looks like they're on a fast start as well. Another Burning Tree, I don't love that. Charming Scoundrel. They're going to discard a card and draw a card. They get rid of a land. They attack for 1, I'll go to 19. Would have loved to have found an Arboreal Grazer there. So you could play out Vizier as a blocker that could then untap your Lotus Field next turn. The problem is if they kill it, you're set back to the Stone Age. And that's not something I'm willing to risk. So I'm just going to play my Lotus Field and hope that they don't kill me from 19 life. Land number 3. Another Charming Scoundrel. This time they create a treasure token. Robber of the Rich. So now they're attacking for 8. They exile Tail's End from the top of my deck. Well, you drew me into Hidden String, so I appreciate you. I'm going to attempt to dead you. Vizier, untap my Lotus Field. Another stage. We will now copy our Lotus Field, leaving 2 blue mana floating, which is just enough to Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. And then we'll Pore over the pages. You could cycle this Vizier first, but it doesn't matter when you have additional dead cards in your hand anyway. So we find the Chandra and Omniscience. So if we can get to 10 mana, we have a pretty easy win. So currently we have 8 mana. Vizier represents 9. We found the Emergent Ultimatum. The problem with that is we have 2 of the best targets in our hand already. So not as great as you might think. We'll add black here, and then cycle the Vizier, untap, and we find another Pore. That's going to give me enough mana to play the Omniscience. So we have 9 mana. We had a win even without it probably, but this just makes it super easy. Get rid of the stage. And now we'll play the Omniscience, we'll play Chandra, and then we get to copy Emergent Ultimatum. Love that. We will do Disciple, Lier, that is, Dark Petition, and Pore over the pages. We'll put Pore on the stack first and then Dark Petition. I will go grab Lier, Disciple of the Drowned, and then Pore over the pages, untap our 2 lands, discard a Botanical Sanctum, And now this Emergent Ultimatum resolves. We'll get Dark Petition, Bala Ged Recovery, and I don't know, an Impulse. We'll cast the Bala Ged Recovery, get back Dark Petition, and then Impulse. Grab another Bala Ged Recovery. We will Sylvan Scrying, grab Otawara, and now we'll Dark Petition for Bala Ged Recovery. And now we can start winning. We'll deal them 5. And now we Bala Ged Recovery back our Chandra, play the Chandra, Bala Ged Recovery, getting back Bala Ged Recovery, and then we'll get back another Bala Ged Recovery. So now we have the loop. Deal them another 5, and Chandra will die. And now we'll Bala Ged Recovery again. This isn't the most exciting thing, but this is actually how the deck wins. In my last video, I actually had a couple complaints from people that were like, I don't actually know how the deck wins. It never happened. Your opponent's just conceded. This is how it happens. And now we'll deal them another 5, and our opponent concedes. Well, you actually got to see the loop there, so that's nice. Okay. So we're facing a fast deck where we want the Perilous Voyages. So we're going to take out Impulse, because this is a speed matchup, so you want the Tail's End. We're going to lean a little bit more on Temple of Mystery and Arboreal Grazer. And then the Path of Peril comes in because it's really, really good against these style decks off of a Dark Petition. And then you can board out one Emergent Ultimatum when you're facing a hyper-fast deck. Alright, so that's the board plan. And we'll see if we can manage to get game number 2. I mean, very good hand. I wish I had a Grazer in it, but there's no way I'm sending this back. Our opponent with a mulligan. Another option is if you don't want to play Lair of the Hydra, but you want a second win condition. I really, really like Peer into the Abyss. Most lists don't play it these days, but it's a card that I'm a big fan of. Temple of Mystery. I will play that first. It's better than Bala Ged Recovery here. Ooh, and we found the Grazer. Turn 2 Grazer is still good. Okay. Charming Scoundrel. It enters as a 2/2 with haste. You got it. I'll fall to 17 life. They created a treasure token off of the Charming Scoundrel, by the way. Here I'm going to play the Bala Ged Recovery as a land. And then we'll Arboreal Grazer, putting in the Lotus Field. Okay, pass the turn. Their Saga is going to transform now into a 2/2 creature that exiles creatures when they would die. Okay. We'll block. Soak up a little bit of damage here. So this can exile one of my Bala Ged Recoveries, but that's not the end of the world. We can win without all 3 Bala Ged Recovery. Something else I could do is I could bounce this with Perilous Voyage, and then bounce a creature and try to win next turn. But I don't know if I actually like that. I think we just let them exile a Bala Ged Recovery and move on with their life. Okay. Because like I said, you can win using Otawara. You don't need all 3 copies of Bala Ged Recovery. Okay. Bala Ged Recovery down. They go to 22. We'll block using a Arboreal Grazer. And they're going to kill my Grazer, which will get exiled. And now we're going to win the game. So we will Hidden Strings, untap, untap. Yes, yes, no. You might be wondering why I don't cycle the Vizier first. I don't want to draw into one of my Emergent Ultimatum targets. So that is something I am considering at the moment. And now we get Omniscience, Lier, and I think it's actually Pore over the pages and not Dark Petition. So if our opponent decides to be a little daring, they could give me Omniscience, Lier, and hope that I fizzle. But I don't think that's going to happen when I have double Perilous Voyage and Sylvan Scrying. Yeah, so they agreed. They gave me the Pore over the pages. So we'll draw 3 cards, untap, untap. Discard a land. Lier now resolves. We're going to make some blue mana, and then we're going to... I think I'm actually just going to Pore over the pages. So I thought about cycling first, but I have 2 scry effects in my hand, so if I fizzle off of the Pore over the pages, I want the ability to then bounce something, scry, and then draw a card. So I'm choosing to hold on to my untap effects. We found our Chandra. I'm just drawing cards and making mana at the moment. Okay. And now I can Hidden Strings. We have 12 mana. Hidden Strings makes 4. Yes, yes. And when you're flashing back Hidden Strings off of Lier, you always want to Cipher. Alright, so now we can do blue, black, and we'll Dark Petition. And now we'll go grab the Omniscience. And I have 11 mana. So that's not enough to make any mana with Omniscience at the moment. So I'm going to cycle this Vizier and untap a Lotus Field, because that will leave me 2 mana floating. Another Sylvan Scrying. Okay, so now I can make blue mana, and I'll play the Omniscience. We have 33 cards in our deck. Let's Sylvan Scrying. Go grab an Otawara. Sylvan Scrying. Grab Boseiju. Sylvan Scrying. We'll grab a Temple of Mystery. Sylvan Scrying, and grab another Otawara. We're going to start by playing the Grazer into Temple of Mystery. We don't need a stage. That can go on the bottom. We'll now Perilous Voyage, bouncing the Charming Scoundrel. We don't need either of these, so these can both go on the bottom. And now Perilous Voyage, bouncing this creature, why not? So another Vizier is a free redraw. I mean, that's fine. I will cycle the Vizier, untap, draw a card. So now we can make another mana, cycle the Vizier. This will give us 4 mana, which is a little bit awkward. Another Perilous Voyage. Okay, I'm going to play Chandra, and we're going to Bala Ged Recovery, picking up Dark Petition and a Vizier. We're going to bounce their god creature, Clothis, I believe its name is. And then we'll make some mana and cycle the Vizier. We drew another land. Okay. So now I'm able to Dark Petition. And we'll go grab the other... Actually, should I just get Emergent Ultimatum? I think that's the move. And now we'll Ultimatum again. Pour over the pages. Dark Petition. Bala Ged Recovery. We're going to Bala Ged Recovery, back Bala Ged Recovery. And then Dark Petition. So the only choke point at this point is mana. So let's just make sure that we get enough mana in order to win. And now we'll Hidden Strings, untapping our lands. And how you win using Otawara is you don't actually want to deal them all 5. So we'll deal them 4. And then you can Otawara on your Chandra. Replay the Chandra. And now you'll Bala Ged Recovery. The Otawara and Bala Ged Recovery. And now we deal them more damage. And now we'll Otawara again. And our opponent can see. Sweet. Haven't dropped a game yet. 2-0. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3. I have no clue what I'm facing, but we've opened up, the land combo. We have Lotus Field, we have Thespian stage. What we're lacking right now is a payoff, and I'm a little bit nervous if our opponent's on an aggro deck that this hand might be too slow. But we'll see what's up. They're on 6 cards. Basic Mountain Go. That's interesting. I mean, I like slow... We hit the Grazer! Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Grazer in a temple. Feels good. Bry, and we found Sylvan Scrying, but we don't need it. We already have our land combo, so we're just going to, pass the turn. Put that Sylvan Scrying on the bottom. Another mountain. No clue what's going on over there. Another Lotus Field. Okay. Pass the turn. Is it like mono red control? I don't know what's going on. What is this? Whenever you cast a red spell, untap Chandra. Chandra deals 1 to a player or planeswalker. If she's dealt 3 or more damage this turn, transform her. And then she can deal 2 damage to a target player or planeswalker, 2 to a creature, or an ultimate that I'm not going to bother reading. The Sylvan Scrying. Okay, we will copy our Lotus Field. Pass the turn. We need an action spell at this point. Chandra deals me 1. They light up the stage. Cavalier of Flame and a Mishra's Research Desk. I'm going to block. They play with fire to deal me 2, and they untap their Chandra. Chandra transforms, and then kills my Grazer. Not very nice. And then they play the Mishra's Research Desk. Or Over the Pages. You love to see it. So you could lead on the Temple of Mystery here to try to improve the quality of your draws. I'm going to hold back because I don't want to lose the game because I maybe was a little too hasty with my land drop and then I draw like an ultimatum that I can't cast. So that's something I'm considering. Well, awkward. We're going to bounce the Chandra using the Otawara and then play the Temple, and I can counter the Chandra using the Tail's End. Put that land on the bottom. They use the Research Desk, Frostbite, and a Light Up the Stage. They play the Chandra, and I will counter it using the Tail's End. Our draw has not really come together so far. It's been a little lousy. A third Sylvan Scrying. I'm going to play the Sylvan Scrying, and we'll go get a Thespian Stage, and then we're going to make another Lotus Field, because I believe next turn, and I could be wrong, but I believe I have enough mana to Lier, and then flashback Pore Over the Pages. And then we'll Sylvan Scrying again, and we'll just grab another Thespian Stage. Pass. They light up the stage and reveal a mountain and a lightning strike. Okay. We find Otawara. Play Lier. A little bit worried about Lier potentially dying, but my hand doesn't do anything else, so if they can kill Lier, they can kill Lier. We found Emergent Ultimatum. About time. Discard the land. Blue, black. Cycle Vizier. Untap the Lotus Field. Another Lotus Field. Our draws really have not been great. I tapped for the wrong color there, so we'll retap and cast Emergent Ultimatum. Sweet. We stumbled a lot, but we got game number 1. Okay, so it doesn't look like they're a super fast deck. It looks like they're just playing Burn. And while if we're facing Burn, Leyline of Sanctity ends up being pretty amazing. So we'll bring those in, and I think you can board out a Boreal Grazer because their opponent's deck just look very clunky. So having the Leyline is going to be good there. Tail's End can come out, and then let's bring in Perilous Voyage in case they have Alpine Moons or Damping Spheres. And I think I'd like the 4th Perilous Voyage. I'm going to board out the 4th Emergent Ultimatum. If we struggle to find a payoff spell, it happens, but I think I want to keep in all of my impulses. So no stage, no Lotus Field, but we do have a Scry plus Impulse. And if you do find Lotus Field, this hand is going to go off because you have Vizier, Hidden Strings, and Pore. I will keep. Obviously, it doesn't have a Leyline in it either, but not the end of the world. Opponent is on 6 cards. Bala Ged Recovery will play the Temple. Seiju. I'm going to bottom that. I think we just need to find Lotus Field and Thespian Stage. They have land number 2. Whenever a player casts a spell other than the first spell each turn, this deals me 2 damage. So it's like an Eidolon of the Great Revel, but it's conditional. Alright, let's play Impulse. We found Sylvan Scrying. Does this target? It does not. I mean, we also just have 4 Perilous Voyage in our deck, so not the end of the world. Another Hidden Strings. Okay, we'll play the Sylvan Scrying, grab a Lotus Field, play the field, and pass the turn. They found their 3rd land. They play Chandra. Temple of Mystery. Let's start off by cycling the Vizier. This gives us 4 mana. Breeding Pool. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could find a win here. So we play the land. Hidden Strings, Emergent Ultimatum. Alright, we'll go to 18. Tap for blue. What's tap for green? I think I have to... I'm not sure. I'm just going to cast spells. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. And now this for black, this for blue. Hidden Strings. This will deal us 2. That's fine. Yes, yes, no. Emergent Ultimatum deals me 2. I go to 14. Dark Petition. Omniscience. So if they give me Lier Omniscience, that would actually be insanely good for me. I'm trying to set them up to mess up here. I don't know if they'll bite, but it's a choice we can make. Yeah, they didn't do it. Okay. They're going to deal me 4 more damage. I go to 10. So Dark Petition. Is it crazy to just grab the Leyline? Let's bounce the Curse. I'll go to 8. Keep the Vizier on top. Alright, so now we can Hidden Strings. Maybe getting the Leyline was a mistake. I don't know. Now we'll Cypher onto our Lier. And now I can pore over the pages, drawing the Vizier, discard Temple. Let's cycle the Vizier. We found the stage, it's just a little late. And now we'll pore over the pages. Untap, discard Scrying. Blue. Well, Hidden Strings. Yes, no. And now I'm going to Perilous Voyage and bounce the Chandra. Play the ley line. Pass the turn. Did I not cipher? I was supposed to cipher the second time on Lier. In my head, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then I didn't do it. Chandra, Torture Defiance can kill my Lier. It's annoying. We find a Vizier. I think step 1 here just has to be copying Lotus Field. And then we'll Impulse. Take the Pore over the pages. Pass the turn. A Chandra. So Chandra doesn't target, so it's going to be able to deal me 2 damage through the ley line. I go to 6. Light up the stage. Vindictive Flamestoker and a land. They play the Vindictive Flamestoker and Chandra. Chandra Tribal. Another Vizier. Okay. If we find Omniscience, we have a win. Or so I believe. Another Perilous Voyage. I'm going to sit on that because I want to cast this Pore over the pages. Once again, I mentioned it earlier in this league, but if you have the option of scrying and then drawing a card, it's usually a little bit better. Okay, we'll discard a Boseiju here. I think I'm going to go the long way. I'm going to play Chandra, Bala Ged Recovery, and copy it. Tap for red. We'll play Chandra. And now we're going to Bala Ged Recovery, getting back Pore over the pages. Chandra copies it, and let's pick up Lier. We'll cycle the Vizier. Our opponent says GG's opponent. We have still not lost a game. We're 3-0, 6-0, 2 rounds left. Are you feeling a repeat? I certainly hope so. I'll see you in the 4th match. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4, we're on the play. Our opponent has revealed a Jegantha the Wellspring. We've opened up both of our combo lands, but no other land. If these impulses were lands, oh my, this hand would be so good. I think you're supposed to be disciplined and send this hand back. This is pretty good. We'll keep and put the Dark Petition on the bottom of our deck. Unfortunately, you're supposed to lead on Bala Ged Recovery. So if you're unaware, the way that the interaction between Boreal Grazer and the back half of Bala Ged Recovery works is that it doesn't at all. It does not recognize this as a land. Often in my comments, people are like, you know, you could put the Bala Ged Sanctuary into play. No, you can't. The back half is not recognized as a land. That is not on the table. Alright, so it looks like our opponent's playing red. So this Grazer is good. Too bad we don't have a blue source here. But we'll play out the Boseiju and play the Grazer. Play Lotus Field. And now we're a Thespian stage away from greatness. Ooh, the Rakdos. Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the blood token. They Fatal Push my Grazer, and they're going to attack for 1. Okay. Ooh, I just realized Tails End counter Shieldred. I love that. I don't have another land to play. I'm going to play the Grazer here because our opponent can't play Shieldred, and then we'll pass the turn. Next turn, I'll hold open the Tails End. I actually really like that. I did not consider the fact that you can counter Shieldred. That seems amazing. They play a Mayhem Devil, so they're actually on Rakdos Sacrifice. I don't know if they'll even have Shieldred in their deck. We missed on the land again. We have to pass. Okay, we're going to block the Voldaren Epicure and take 3 damage, falling down to 15 life. They play land number 4. Blood Tithe Harvester. They create a blood token. Deadly Dispute. Sure. So they're going to deal another damage to my Harvester. To the Grazer. And then they're going to sacrifice the treasure to try to kill the Grazer. And I can counter that. Alright, we're going to Tails End this ability. Thoughtseize. Wow. They've had a pretty good draw so far. And we've stumbled. We have not found a land that was not in our opening hand. The correct pick here is just Hidden Strings, without a doubt. Come on, deck. Please give me Thespian stage. Pretty please. Draw. It's a forest. Okay, we have to pass. Another Blood Tithe Harvester. They're going to deal 1 to my Grazer, and then the Blood Tithe Harvester will kill it. So now they can attack for 7. I'm sorry, this one has Summoning Sickness. My apologies. I'll take 4, falling to 11. I think my best draw right now is like Vizier into a bunch of good stuff. See what it is. Does not help me. We're actually just dead on board. Okay, well, game 1, our deck stumbled a lot, and it didn't function. Let's not have that happen again. So this is not really a speed matchup. I don't want the Tail's End. I do want Leyline of Sanctity. I think I'm also interested in Perilous Voyage. I don't think I want the Grazer. Like, our opponent just has a lot of ways to remove it. And then we can board out 1 Emergent Ultimatum. Game number 2 on the play. We finally lost the game, but we can't lose another if we want to win this round. Ugh, this doesn't have the Leyline in it, but it's so good. I'll keep. Play the Temple. Perilous Voyage can go on the bottom. There's some argument to keeping it, but I think we just want to do the thing. They play a Thoughtseize as expected. They take the Lier. Okay. Awkward time to draw a Leyline. We'll play Otawara past the turn. Land number 2. Cauldron Familiar. Another Emergent Ultimatum. My draws this round have not cooperated. They'll attack with their Cauldron Familiar. We'll fall to 18. And they have Damping Sphere. That's brutal. Yeah, a lot of lists do have 2 on the board. I mean, I knew what I was doing when I bottomed the Perilous Voyage. I mean, I knew the risk that I was taking. But we're sort of in a position that I was looking to avoid by keeping. Like, if you kept the Perilous Voyage, this situation doesn't get any better. So, I don't know. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Yep. We just have to pass. They discard 1 Voldaren Epicure. So their hand has to be pretty good if they kept. Alright, I'll take 3 down to 14. Mayhem Devil. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to recover fast enough at this point. Another colorless land. Okay, so we got smushed this round. Absolutely devastating. We're now 3-1, but there's still a chance to finish this with a, a 4-1 that I'd be content with. Let's try to do that. Let's go get match number 5. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. We are on the draw in the final round of this league. I have a hand that has access to both Lotus Field and Thespian Stage. We have access via the Sylvan Scrying. My fear here is that I'm on the draw. We don't know what kind of deck our opponent's playing. And no blue decks this league by the looks of it. And it looks like they're on an aggressive creature deck. So finding an Arboreal Grazer would be pretty good for us, but or even the Tail's End. We haven't really leveraged Tail's End that much this league. It countered a Chandra and a triggered ability, but outside of that, it hasn't done a whole lot. So if we could top deck a Tail's End, that would be ideal. They play land number 2, Prosperous Innkeeper. You've got it. Okay. Another Thespian Stage. We're going to go search out a Lotus Field. Okay, selecting the Lotus Field and pass that turn. Mana Confluence. They attack. I'll fall to 17. No play, except for this Collected Company they're going to cast on our turn. Ay, ay, ay. We'll play the Lotus Field. I wonder what they're going to do. I can't believe it. They had Collected Company. That's so crazy. I did not see that coming. Looks like they selected 2 more Prosperous Innkeepers. They're gaining all the life. Literally all of it. They make a few more treasure tokens. They still have 2 cards in hand. They're about to draw into a third. Another land. They have 2 cards left. 4 mana for a main phase Collected Company. I don't know why it just took me to realize that they're the Amalia deck. I mean, obviously they put the Amalia on the battlefield, but I don't know why it took me this long. Am I just dead here? Yeah, I'm dead. Okay. That'll do. Okay. Yeah, that took me way too long. I thought that they were on the Green-White Angels. I don't know why, but in my head, that's what they were playing. Okay, so we're going to bring in Perilous Voyage. And I think we just want to take out Impulse. I think we want to leave the Tail's End because Tail's End is good versus the legendary creature deck. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Probably part of the reason why Tail's End is so good right now. Counters Amalia, counters Shield Dread. Like, in theory, I like this card a lot. It just hasn't come up for us much in this league. Game number 2, we're on the play. So we have a Grazer opening, but no Lotus Field. I don't think we're allowed to keep this. We also can't even cast the Perilous Voyage. This is not bad. We'll bottom the Dark Petition. Besage into a Boreal Grazer, putting Otawara onto the battlefield. Our best draw is like Sylvan Scrying into Thespian stage, or even the Tail's End. Tail's End would actually be insane here. Okay, come on, Tail's End. Pretty please. A Temple. We'll play the Lotus Field. Pass the turn. They play an Overgrown Tomb. And there's Amalia. Lier. Think I'm going to play Temple and then play Vizier. Tail's End can go on the bottom. I hope that casting this Vizier doesn't bite me in the butt. They have land number 3. It looks like Court of Calling is what they're going to do here. So this starts their ability to buff up all their stuff. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to destroy all creatures or not. I mean, I think if I was them, I would just have 2 giant creatures and I would pass the turn, but who knows? Maybe they really are afraid of my Vizier. They're at 90 life. It's going to take a long time for me to kill them with Chandra. Okay. And they did decide to go all the way up to 20. So, I mean, that makes sense. I'll be honest. I thought the Amalia died too. I mean, it's been a while since I faced this deck. All other creatures. Yeah, reading is tough. So we have to draw a hit right now or else I'm dead. Okay. Keeps us in the game. We'll cycle Vizier. Untap Lotus Field. Draw a card. Hidden Strings was a very good one. Let's start by casting Pore over the pages. So I could Sylvan Scrying and go get the... I feel like it's a trap. Going to go get Stage here. We'll discard the Scrying. Play... Hold on. Let's actually count some mana stuff. Alright, so I'd have 5 mana. This brings me up to 7. The question is, do the colors work? So we'll play the Sanctum. Tap for black. Tap for blue. Hidden Strings. Yes. Yes. No. Then green. Blue. Blue. We'll do Omniscience. Pore over the pages. And Dark Petition? I can't take too long because they literally have 108 life. We'll put Dark Petition on the stack and then the Pore over the pages. Well, that was a terrible Pore. We'll discard the Temple. Dark Petition. We'll grab Perilous Voyage. We'll play Lier. And then we'll Perilous Voyage the Amalia. Oh, I forgot about Ward! Ah, I've even read this card multiple times this game. Wow. Okay, it's just me throwing leagues. Yeah, I mean, I just punted. Wait, and I can pay 3 life. What am I... Bryant, read the card. We'll put Besage on the bottom. I don't know why I'm getting so worked up right now. I'm just really nervous. Take a breather. We can still win this. Alright, sorry. I have not been playing super well, and I'm just a little nervous right now. I don't want to throw a match due to me not being able to read and comprehend what I'm reading. They return to the ranks. 2 Prosperous Innkeeper. So now they can make 2 treasures. They could have gotten Amalia plus Wild Growth Walker, and they chose not to. Interesting to note that Sin Collector does... It says target opponent. Okay. I guess it does target. So if I wanted to bring in the ley lines, I could. Dina does not target. And now a return to ranks where X is equal to 2 again. And now they have the combo. So that was a really sick play by them. So they're going to kill my Lier. And I'm on the back foot again. They have Archon of Emeria. Okay, that's good to know. And you might be like... So one of the things like that I've experienced with this deck is I used to board in 3 Path of Peril against it. I don't even think Path of Peril is good due to Return to the Ranks. And they're keeping whatever card they have on top of their deck. Okay. They have a giant Amalia once again. We can Bala Ged Recovery for Perilous Voyage. And then play our Lotus Field. Vizier. That was a good draw. But I think I'm gonna save it because I don't think our average draw at the top wins. So I'm just going to get back Perilous Voyage, and then we'll Perilous Voyage the Amalia again. I will pay 3 life, and I will not freak out about Ward. I think we want Dark Petition, and then we'll play Lotus Field. Land number 5, Archon of Emiria. That's not cool. They tried to play Amalia, but that's not how this card works, so they should have done it first. I'm going to cycle Vizier to see if it educates my decision about this Dark Petition. We'll draw a card. I mean, that was a really good one. So, how many Perilous Voyages have I used? Just the one? I'm going to Pore here, because I could also hit Otawara. I did not. Instead, I drew into straight garbage. Alright, discard the Lotus Field. So, Tail's End can counter an Amalia here. We'll counter it. The Lier is already in my graveyard, so if we want to win with Lier, we need to Bala Ged Recovery it back. Hidden Strings. I'm just going to play Grazer here. I don't want to burn the Dark Petition if I don't have to. We have Otawaras. We have 3 Perilous Voyage. Like, I have cards that can answer this Archon. They have a Collected Company. Yep. So it's the 3/4 that creeps map tokens. Looks like my time is running out. They explore on the Archon, but it reveals a land. I'm going to block the Archon. And now they can try to explore again. They don't, though. Is it only as a sorcery? Yeah, it's only as a sorcery. That would explain it. They find another Collected Company. And it looks like they put it to the graveyard. Or unless that's the same one that found the other creatures. Yeah, it is. So they kept the Collected Company on top. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I am forced to Dark Petition here. And we will grab Perilous Voyage. Alternatively, I could grab Chandra. And then Chandra minus to kill the Archon. Hidden Strings. But that means that our draw step has to be very good. I think I like that. Maybe I should have thought of that sooner. You have Pore calling for 3. Am I just dead? So it's a Luminarch Veteran. They find a Wild Growth Walker that they could have gotten with the Cord, but they didn't. So they're going to use their land, and they picked up the Dina. So now I'm dead. I believe so, at least. Yeah, I'm dead. Am I? Yeah, that's enough. Bummer. So I don't feel like I played this match particularly well, and I lost. I don't know. Like, I do think game 1 kind of got away from me, but game 2 I could have played better. Unfortunate. We started out really hot, and then the Jets cooled. So what do I think of this deck list? I don't know. Tail's End did not seem bad, but I never drew it enough. I think that's my honest assessment. I think the idea that it's good against Amalia, it's good against Shieldred, it stops Field of Ruin, stops Besageu's, accelerates you. Like, it seems good in theory, but this was just not a super large sample, and it just didn't come up. So I could be wrong. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, other than the fact that I could have played better. Obviously, I know that. I didn't play super well in the last video either, so maybe I need to brush up a little bit more on Pioneer Lotus before I record the next one, because I feel like my play's been a little bit rusty. But thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and as always, keep storming. Hey you, yeah you, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested, you can visit theepicserum.com/donation-decks to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. You can even join me in a video in the Epic tier. It's totally worth it, I promise. And see ya. Thanks for watching.